Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Coimbra. So, Coimbra, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard a number of different pronunciations. I'll go with Coimbra simply because that's what's kind of stuck with me. Just deal with it. If you are aware that this is a different pronunciation than what I'm actually saying, please forgive me. Please comment below if you're able to write out a way to pronounce the word properly or the place properly. That would be great. Then I'll know and everyone will know. But for the moment, Coimbra is what's going to be called. This is a 2 to 4 player game that the box suggests will take 75 minutes to 2 hours to play. So I'm going to suggest that with 4 players it will go to the 2 hours, if not beyond. And with only 2 players, it's the shorter game. I've played this a couple of times at the different player counts, and I've enjoyed playing at each count. I've found that each count has different kind of intricacies to it, and it's very well done with the way it changes the player count. They simply put in a dummy die. So the way this game plays is that a whole bunch of dice are selected. You're then taken in turns around the table to select which die you're going to take. When you have taken a die, you're going to also place it onto an area of the board. That area of the board is running purely on the number. So the higher the number for most of it, the earlier you're going to get to go, but the more it costs you to go there. One of the 4 sections works in the opposite order, so the lower the number you want, the earlier you're going to get to go there. Once that's all happened, you're going to get to choose 3 of the dice. There will be a couple of dice left over. This is the position where those dummy dice kind of sit, and so once you're placing them down, if one of the dummy dice is a 3 and you're placing a 3, you're going to place on the right of that, so the dummy die will go before you. If you're playing a 4 or above, then you'll place on the left. When we get up to the dummy die and the actual actioning of the dice, so we go through reaction in order from highest number to lowest number. When we get up to one of the dummy dice, all it takes out is the highest number of that row. So it's possible to look at the row and go, I'm pretty sure that die is going to take this card. I will have to go above that if I want that one. I'll be able to go below that if I don't want that one. That's a lot of thinking right there. Once you've taken them, you're then going over to the other side of the board where you're getting paid out. I guess it's depending on the color of the die that you've taken. So there's 4 different rows, there's 4 different colors plus a joker die or a white die. And you get to do or get whatever is in each of those 4 columns. The thing you're paying with is money or defense, I guess, or battle or attack. Depends what you want to call it, the way you want to think about it. But shields or money. So 2 of those columns are shields and money. You can get income of those, and that'll up the amount that you've got. And then you'll spend that on getting shields or money or paying shields or money for the other part that I already spoke about. The other thing you can do, there's this kind of area or a map where you can move around from city to city and gain the things that are in those cities. That's one of the rows, or one of the other rows is just points, and so the higher up that you are, the more points you get. All of this kind of goes hand in hand to make this game, this thing happen. There's so much going on with it. If you sit down and read the rules, it's actually, you get stuck in a lot of things. There's about 6 different actions or things that need to happen, or events that have to happen within each turn. The game itself will only go for 4 rounds of doing all of this stuff. There's an immense amount that can happen within those 4 turns. I really appreciate that. I find, and this is something that I've found happening in a lot of the games that have come out relatively recently. This is a 2018 release. I believe it came out around Essen, or kind of in that ballpark of the timeline of last year. A lot of the games around that time, when you're playing them, they play a little bit heavy, I guess. A little bit, I have to do a heck of a lot of things in not much time. A little bit crunchy, not necessarily in a good way. Not straightforward crunchy, but crunchy where you have to play it a time or 2 to get your head around how to play it. Once you've got your head around how to play it, then you're really playing it and you really understand. They're really good games, don't misunderstand me. But the getting from not knowing anything to being able to play the game is a little bit of a further journey than with earlier games that kind of that flowed really smoothly. I've found that with quite a few of the games recently that I've been reviewing, that getting them running is, or at least getting the understanding of how to run them, how to explain the game to other players at the table, it's a bit crunchy. The rule books are getting really thick comparatively to games that have previously kind of come out. I don't know if that's just, that happens to be because all the games that are thick rule books and are hitting at the same time, or if that's actually the way we're moving, where we've got I'm happy with how this plays, but let's make it a bit more crunchy. Let's do some extra stuff. Let's add in an extra thing to do. I've noticed that just the last few games that I've been doing, and few games I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, they're harder to get through the rule set to actually understand the game. And it's, you know, I don't necessarily like that. I don't think that's the right way for gaming to go. This game, however, it's a good game. And I'm probably going to say that about a lot of the games that have come through with this kind of thing on the rule set, where you've really got to read it and understand it and have a playthrough and have another playthrough and put it down, then come back to it a few times till you really get it. Once you've got it, once it's flowing, it's actually a fun game. It's nice. It's crunchy. It's all the stuff that you want out of a good game. But there's that leap of I don't know anything to I know how to play this game now. That leap is taking further and further and harder to get to for each game that I've been doing. Coimbra is very similar. Now, something that I haven't mentioned much for other games, but I feel this one needs that mention, is the box. Placing everything in the box. The board fits in beautifully. These similar boards fit in beautifully. Once you take those boards out, everything fits in really snugly. There's a little bit of extra space, there's room, but everything fits in really easily, and you can kind of see where it all goes and what should be happening. I find that it's worth games doing that. Lots of games just kind of give you a box and say, throw it into a bag and put in. With this, you're able to very quickly see and very easily manipulate the pieces out of the box onto the table without having to deal with bags or all the other stuff. I really like that. I think this is a really good design for someone who has a lot of games on the shelf. Just to be able to sit it, you can sit it either direction, it will sit fine. That's not something I mentioned so much about many of the games, but it's actually quite good. I find that on the table, this is a relatively easy game to understand what's going on, and you see icons coming at you, and they're the same icons. The only thing I've had to really go back to the rulebook about a lot is the cards. There's a few of the icons on the cards that look similar to other icons, and just confirmation of what's what is a worthwhile thing to have. So I've noticed that I've had to kind of go through, this card means this card means this, for each player, or for each time new cards come out. For specific cards. Others of them are really straightforward and understandable. Look, I'll leave it there. Please go on and watch my Gamesplay and Gamesplanation to get an idea of how this game plays and to get an idea if you would actually like this game or not. I do think it's a good game. I think it's a worthwhile game to have a look at and a worthwhile game to play. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.